Hey, today I want to talk to you about pocket knives. I want to share some of my favorites. They are mostly Benchmades, as well as a couple other brands in here that have been gifts to me. And I've had a lot of pocket knives, probably a good 20, and I've bought and sold a lot that I've tried and didn't like or didn't use and just wanted to move on and try something new. My number one favorite brand at the moment is Benchmade. I live in Oregon, which has nothing to do with it. I bought my first Benchmade when I was 13 years old, this knife right here. And I am now 42 years old, so I've had this knife quite a while. It's a great design. It's not a knife that I ever use anymore. I used it a lot when I was younger. And yeah, it's a liner lock, and it was just a really, really cool knife. It was just where I started carrying knives. I stopped carrying knives for a little bit when I was in college. Wasn't allowed, and so now that it was like a 2-year period that I couldn't carry pocket knives in my college. But yeah, now I'm back in the scene, and I carry a pocket knife every day. Unless I'm traveling, I'll put that pocket knife in my toiletry bag on the plane, and when I get to my location, I will pull it back out. So I'm going to share that knife with you today as well. I'm going to just start out with my number one favorite knife of all time, the knife that I use every day. It is the Benchmade Crooked River. It's the full size. They didn't have the smaller one when I bought this. It is dirty. I need to clean it. I sharpen all of these knives myself with the Tolker sharpening. It's a 1x30 inch belt drive. It's around under $300. I'll do a review on that as well. But yeah, it has been pretty incredible. It's taken me a little bit of practice on my cheaper knives to perfect it. But yeah, I strop these with a leather strap at the end, or I'll just use that to touch them up. But this knife fits my hand perfect. I have a pretty large hand, in my opinion, and I don't like a knife that is smaller than my hand. It just doesn't work for me. I don't feel safe using it. I do have some knives that are small, but I rarely use them unless I'm just trying to be very discreet or just want something small while I'm doing a specific task. But this knife here has been hands down my favorite. When I first got it, I didn't like it. It was too slippery. It was like this, I think it's called diamond wood, whatever Benchmade does. They harden the wood like with the resin. And so I bought just some, like, I think handgun grip tape, and I just cut it, fit it on there, put it on. I put it on most of my knives that don't have grip. And now this has been my everyday carry. It's a little big for some folks. For me, it's perfect. I don't even notice it in my pocket. Even if I'm like got shorts on, whatever, doesn't matter to me. It's always on me. I've got this thing tuned pretty good, just from wear. Blue lube is always great if you've got it on hand. I've had blue lube for years. I use it now and again, and it lasts pretty much forever. But yeah, number one favorite. I love the blade shape. It's great. This is S30V. I know they've got some more premium steels now, and so yeah, if I ever lose this knife, I will immediately go buy it again. Like, with no question, I'll go out and buy it. So yeah, number one favorite would be that one, Benchmade Crooked River. Number two is a newer edition. It's the tagged out. I've had Bugouts, which we'll get to, and I still have one. But this tagged out, it is like a mini Crooked River. As far as like, they do make a mini Crooked River, but it's more of like a lighter weight, some down version. This one here, the tagged out that I have, is a little different. It has like a different, I think, sharpening edge on it. I think it's a 15 and 15 degree, if I remember right. I think it's called the Select Edge. So this one is designed for, I think, just cleaning an animal out in the field. But I love this as an everyday carry as well. It is a little smaller, but I did grip it up, and it's bigger than the Bugout, which I like. It fits my hand pretty good all the way. When I gripped it up, it felt a lot better. They have 3 different variations of this knife. One has just, I think, S30V maybe, and like an orange handle. I'm not sure the blade material. And then they've got more of a premium one that is carbon fiber, and then I think it has an orange blade, and might be Crewwear or Magna Cut. I can't remember. But yeah, this is S45 VN. I have not sharpened this knife once yet, and I've had it for a year. All I've done is strap it with a power strap, like on the 1x30 inch belt at 1800 RPMs. And yeah, it's been awesome. This has been a great travel knife. I'll put it in my toiletry bag, and then when I get to my destination, I'll pull it out, and it's just an awesome little travel knife. It has the small little pocket clip, and yeah, once I gripped it up, love it. A little bit of a break-in period with these access locks, but once you get it, you're good to go for years, and it's just awesome. Love this knife. Next up in the lineup, I have had a lot of Bugouts. I've always bought them and tried different grips on them, sold them. I had before this the carbon fiber version, and I did not like the action. The problem I think with Bugouts is the frame kind of determines how the action is going to work. This one here, I can't remember the model. It's got M390, but it's the only one that looks like this with aluminum scales. It is just the nicest action, and it feels like the most robust bug out I've held. You can also go out and buy scales, you know, if you want titanium ones or whatever, and put your own parts in. But just out of the box, for a knife that's just from the factory, this is the best feeling bug out that I've ever used. And so I like this one. This one is a little small for me. Like I said, I like something that fits my whole hand. If they made a bigger version of the bug out, oh man, it'd be awesome, because I do prefer this blade shape. It just gives you a little bit, I guess, more of a pinpoint feel. So if you're trying to do some fine work, where when you come in with the clip points, I think they are called, so drop point, clip point, if I remember right. I'm not an expert, but you are a little higher up on the blade angle, and so you have to work a little harder to get to that. You're kind of leaning over more. Where with this blade shape, you get a little quicker. You know, I'm not a Warncliffe guy where the blade's in the front. I haven't used a lot of those, but the ones I've used just feels a little weird. I do like a little belly, and so this knife has been awesome. I do love these scales. I think they just have like this, like almost like Star Warsy Darth Vader feel. Yeah, so like I said, I've had a lot of Benchmades. I've had the Freak. That was a cool knife. I just didn't use it much. And then this one here was a 40th birthday gift, first production, from my friend Chris LaPava, or at Roadhouse on Instagram if you want to follow him. He's fun content. This is crewware, so it's first production on it, which is awesome. This knife I will never sell, and I love it. I don't use it a lot because it's my running knife, and I kind of use it as like, just like it's super lightweight. Just feels great in the hand. It has so much grip. Like out of the box, the only thing on this knife that I would have one complaint about, and it's probably not the biggest complaint, is the fact that where the belt clip or the pocket clip touches, it's going to just rip your pants up, which is fine. I don't use it enough to worry about it, but when I'm running, I actually guess kind of a plus. You know, it is very, very tight on my running pants, and I'll use this worst case scenario. Some dog tries to bite me and I can't get the dog off. That is when I would use this knife. There are a lot of states that you can't carry these knives. Even in, I think, in my own state of Oregon, from what I understand, I've been told I can carry this knife with a concealed carry permit. Outside of that, I'm not sure if you can carry this knife legally in public. But I do have a concealed carry permit because it is, I guess, concealed in my pocket. I'm not really sure on knife laws. Don't quote me on any of that, but people have told me that. So this isn't something that I carry a ton, but I do love it. It has a glass breaker, which is great. Not a big deal for me to have that, but it's cool. I have had some of these glass breakers on different knives that when I go down to grab the knife out, I've cut my finger because it's so sharp. This one is just like a nice dull feel, and that hasn't happened to me, which is nice and good to know. But shoot out, and shoots out like its name, man. It's such a good feel. I had the Phaeton before this, which was a fun knife, but the blade was tiny, and it just wasn't a good working blade. And so I sold it, but it had a great action. I think the Autocrat looks pretty cool. Any OTF knife that I get my hands on is pretty awesome. Axial looks awesome. That's one knife that just keeps going out of stock. But yeah, that one there. And then one that I've had, probably one of the longest knives other than my original Benchmade, is 940. I have the original scales somewhere. I did not like the original scales. They're aluminum and it's very slippery. My brother bought me these, Rocky Mountain Tread. Don't even know where he got them. But yeah, this is kind of one of the all-time favorites. I don't carry this knife as much as I used to, just because it is still pretty small. This used to be my travel knife. That if I lost it, whatever. You know, it's so old. Not to say that it's cheap, but it does a good blade. I kind of got tired of this blade shape, but yeah, I think that's a cool knife. It's just too small for me, to be honest. I prefer now using the tagged out for all my travel stuff. Just because it's just the perfect size. I wish they made this in a bug out this size. For size comparison, you can see they're slightly different, but once you put them, yeah, there's just that ½ inch of handle or whatever really helps. Blade I don't care about, it's more the handle. So back out for you. Line these all up so you get a good comparison. Blade lengths and handle lengths. Somewhere around there. Cool. All right, and then just some fun ones. This is, oh gosh, Gerber. Gerber? Yeah, Gerber Rex Applegate. This is an old knife. I got this knife gifted to me by a Marine. I photographed his wedding, And me and my buddy that shot the wedding together, we both got one of these. And I love this knife. It's awesome. It's something that I'll never sell. It's not the best knife in the world, but it locks on the back here. You can lock it up after you've opened it. It's a liner lock and deployed it. If you want to lock it up. But it's made by a Marine, from what I understand, Rex Applegate. Don't know too much about him. The Marine that bought this for me, super rad dude. He just like me. He knew we liked knives, and he's like, "You guys need this." I went and I sharpened the backside of it for fun. It was a double-edged blade, and so yeah, check your state laws if you're gonna do that. Then I just had to be careful. I don't let my wife use this knife at all, but it does cover the edge of the blade if you do sharpen both sides. It drops in, it's out of sight, but you just gotta be careful when you're closing it that you're not, I only sharpened part of it because of that. I sharpened up to about the last inch. Just, I use this to open letters. That's about it. Mail, packages, it just sits by the front door. And yeah, so, but it is a huge knife. Fun fact, I accidentally took this in an airport once. I've lost a couple knives that way. I'm pretty paranoid now because I also conceal carry. So I have bags that are for travel and I have bags that are for home, so I don't cross over. But yeah, when I travel, I never put a knife in a bag that I'm going to travel with ever because of that reason. But I took this through airport security and realized that after I got through security, I was in the airport. Luckily, I just parked outside and I was like, oh, babe, I need to run outside. So I ran out to the car, threw this back in the car, went back through airport security only because I knew I was going to go through more airports and I didn't check a bag on that trip. And yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm going to lose this one. Didn't want to lose this knife. I have lost some cheaper knives in the past. Fortunately, they were cheaper. You never want to lose a knife to airport security. It's always just embarrassing and it's a bummer, especially when you have some really nice knives like this. And then I've had a bunch of cold steels. We were on that train of their great marketing back in the day where they made the silly, craziest YouTube videos. And so we bought a few of these. I've got the Recon, which I don't know too much about cold steel these days. I think they got sold. I think they're using better steels, but this AUS8 stuff they were using was crap. But it was fun. We would sharpen them ourselves and we'd beat the crap out of them like they did in the videos. And yeah, this is just, I don't even know what this thing's called. But I keep this thing around if my wife's ever like, do you have a knife I can borrow? There you go. Take it. So this is some of my knives, the ones that I actually use. I've got a bunch of other fixed blades and whatnot that I never use unless I'm camping. But yeah, overall, #1 of all time. Crooked River. Full size for me. I just love it. Like I said, I don't want to lose this knife, but I kind of want to. So I have a reason to buy a newer one with a premium steel and like their custom shop. That would be awesome. Well, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to spend money. But yeah, this is my #1 favorite. So, but these are the knives that I actually use probably right in here. Right there. One more thing is I recommend buying this little kit here from Benchmade. It's been pretty awesome. It's got the Torx bits that fit and then blue lube. And then I also bought their like little honing kit for like stropping and like ceramic rod. But I like never use it, but I have it. I'll keep it in my truck. I'm traveling or like if I'm going camping, I'll grab it. But yeah, hopefully this video is somewhat helpful for you that are looking to buy one knife or a new knife and just curious what to buy. I recommend this mid-tier tagged out. I love it. I think it's in a good price point for steel and just functionality. And then if you're going to buy a Bugout, either plan on buying some like Flytanium scales, or I think that's the brand that makes them, or buy this knife right here to start. It's got a great steel, looks clean. This coating is super tough. You might think you get scratches on it, but really it's just like whatever's wearing off on the blade. It's like pretty darn tough. And so I really, really like this little knife. It's clean. I'll take this knife to like weddings. I'll put it in my camera bag. And if, someone needs a knife, but it's, it's not super scary like this one or this one, it just looks really clean and simple. And yeah, that's my ramblings about pocket knives. I'm a big fan. I've been carrying pocket knives, like I said, since I was 13. It's just something that I've always had on me. Of course, there's times when I can't carry one. If I go over to Europe, I might take like an open L that I really like sharpened up or something, just to be safe. But yeah, always check those laws in your state and where you're traveling to see if it's okay. The internet's a pretty good resource for that, but you always want to check a few resources or ask someone in the country. That way you can really be sure. Thank you for watching, and hopefully it was helpful.